So, as our intrepid adventuring party last left off, after finding themselves on a assorted task of finding out why an pledged and oathed clerical order, set and beheld at the behest of Lord Brokenridge and his city of Port Ivy, as to not coming to their aid when needed. Finding that the small clerical order's temple and hamlet that they had once inhabited burned to the ground, and scorched of any semblance of holiness. As we return back to our party after these heroic deeds of finding out just what had happened, we return as our party is on the road back home to Port Ivy, in tow after running into what seemed to be a clerical man, or at least one disguised, after finding out that this man being wounded beyond anything what should be living, he still did so. After dealing with some of the corpses left in piles and burnt heaps of pyres, our party then left back to Port Ivy and embraced it with their arms in the hopefulness that something might have happened. After returning to the city, the colors in the sky becoming weird after to the far east what looked to be almost an ocean forming into the sky, or possibly even a large lake. The clouds themselves forming almost an outline of the sandy like almost out, I wouldn't say beach because that would be too grand. But
Rocky Coast.
yeah, essentially. And avoiding it and claiming it's possibly just some phenomena usual to those portions of this rather strange land. After getting within sight of the large walls towering above the city of Port Ivy, we then get back to our party as they are currently strolling about. The day is hot, unusually hot for that of a late fall, early winter, but it's nice. And we pick up there as the party is just about to reach the city.
Yes.
Mm,
And the
so,
party is silent.
so, and well, I'll just take a moment to process something. I guess the first thing we do once we get to Port Ivy is at least tell what has happened. No doubt any good will come from it, but that might be the case. We also might need to find some physician or someone that could treat, uh, you know, that one man's wounds as well. They don't seem like they'll last forever.
And you didn't take that person with you. You had
No, we
left them.
left him.
No, I mean like go as an option to go back to heal him.
Go back. Okay.
I mean, Lord Brokenridge would probably want to know what happened.
No doubt. That's why. Hmm. That's why we should get this information in as quick as possible.
Clyde will poke up here. So, well, I think our first order of business is to alert Lord Brokenridge. He did ask us to check out why they didn't come. So I guess we found out what it was. I'm not
Mm,
sure it's any good news, but news nonetheless.
at least it wasn't for a negligible reason.
Clyde nods.
Uh, Vols kind of looks around whilst they're walking on the road. He wonders if there's anything of interest, either it being like any traces of recent fight structures, or like herbs or just something that's off-putting from the usual, I believe it's plain-like terrain.
Sure.
That
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
okay. Perception 17.
17. Nothing entirely out of the ordinary. You do see a couple of peons currently out in the fields tending to the late crop, or what seems to be the final harvest of the season.
Hmm. Oh.
Other than that, nothing really stands out to you. It seems to be a fine day.
He kind of lets out a soft puff. I'm trying to remember as well. All right. After that, Wallace, after seeing the lack of like anything that catches his eye aside from probably the crops, he does look to his palm a moment, and at least to one of the two tomes he's gone back from before they sailed to here. He
The
was
one that you had taken from the
he took two.
crypt. The
Yeah.
two you'd taken from the crypt.
Yep.
Okay. What would you like to do?
Mm, he's seen one, so he's going to try to open the other while they're walking.
Oh, okay. I need you. Make me a wisdom check.
A 21.
21. This book actually has a small latch on it. And you can open it up, and as you start opening it, you almost feel yourself fighting against it, and you're like, it's just a book. And you actually start opening it, and as you kind of blink, pages lay open before you, and they're blank.
Mm. He kind of takes a moment to flip through a few pages, knowing that these two tomes were very strange. Because he still remembers the first encounter. Obviously, nobody was in that room, or rather passed on noticed that creature. But he looked at that in his palm. Then, if there was no other pages that showed some signs, he would, of course, close the book back up. Hmm.
You looking through it, the pages are completely blank.
Hey, Nedim,
Yeah? What's up?
you still got the thing from the dead guy, right? The sorcerer.
I mean, it
He kind
never
of
really
like
went
shows his
away.
palm.
It didn't change or anything. It's still there. What's up with that?
I don't know, but I just wonder if it's a little strange. I, I feel like this and the book are somewhat related. Obviously enough, they came from the same person. Uh, I'm actually curious if you see anything in this book.
I mean, I can try.
Since he saw the book somewhat open, he kind of tried to show it to Narum.
Does Nerum see anything on those pages, or are they as blank as they are for Valis?
Make me a wisdom check.
Oh boy. Wisdom. That is a 15.
There are actually glyphs on these papers. They're not blank. You don't know what he's talking about.
Now that's interesting. There's something on here. I
What?
can't really identify it. But
Well,
there are
what do you
strange
mean?
glyphs on those pages. Or something of the like, at least.
Really? You kind of like takes a little look back down on the page, then
It's
back at them,
blank.
back in the page. I is I don't know if your eyes are playing tricks on you. I don't see anything on these.
It's probably some magic mumbo jumbo. Given where you
And
got
now
these from.
it was from the same sorcerers then. Back in the swamps.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Since you got them from there must be some weird magic involved.
Mm,
I couldn't tell you.
true. I see. Hmm.
I mean, hey, maybe I could try and uh, copy them over. Don't know if that would be much use, but you know.
Hmm. I will mind that. I mean, I have 2 of these tomes.
Maybe once we get back into the city, we can get some
Yeah.
parchment and just, I could start writing down stuff.
I think that's for
I,
the best. I still remember last time I did this, I opened it,
Iris
I
pokes her
canceled.
hand. Iris pokes her hand up. I actually have some paper if you need it.
All right, thank you, guys. It might be better if we do this in a tavern or something, because the last time I opened either one of these books, I dropped or at least passed out. So it's might be safer to not do this on the road.
Fair enough. Yeah. Let's do this once we're back in the city. Maybe
No,
once we get some lodgings.
I don't want to be the party pooper, but last time we opened something in a tavern, didn't this entire shit happen?
He has a
Yeah,
point.
but I've opened both books now and nothing happened.
Okay, what if we wait until we're back out on sea to open the books?
And
And
potentially
well,
risk burning the ship or blowing a hole into it.
Hey, can't be worse than
Better
anything
than
else we've
endangering
experienced
an
so far.
entire city of people.
I mean, didn't we already do that once?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be very welcome if we do that a second time.
I could try one last thing on the road, but mm, and Grape, he's gonna try to pour mana into the book,
Or mana into the
like
book.
like how one would use it for like enchanted weapons, like how one attunes.
Okay. Make me an Arcana check.
14 plus 6, so dirty 20.
All right. As you start focusing into it and you pour into it, you almost feel a burning sensation in your hand, and you need to pull your hand away from the book. And you look and you see the kind of black splotch kind of pulsing. I'm going to send you a message.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm assuming Nerm could see the pulsing. I don't remember if only Nerm and Volus can only see the marks, or if anyone can see it.
As far as I remember, not even we could see the other ones, Mark.
As this kind of pulses in your hand, you see almost a purplish glow start seething into this kind of black splotch into your hand. And it's pulsing. And then the book shuts itself. And you almost hear or see a faint. You hear what sounds like burning, and then you see a faint smoke start rising from the book. And you see as one of the pages bursts into ash.
Oh, great. What happened now? Swear to
Book
God.
burned up, that's what happened.
Fucking magic.
Well, he kind of looks at his hand. Is there any trees around?
No, you are in grass plains.
Okay. Since that stuff is in his hand still, I just need to look up what it is. he's going to point outwards, probably onto a hill, and try casting it. Just as like a test.
Okay. Go ahead. Roll to hit.
To hit, I need to. I need to just check my settings.
Fucking fireball.
17.
17. As
We,
you see, as Volus points his hand out, and you see as he kind of flexes his hand together, you see as a thin, almost blackish purple energy releases from his hand out of nowhere, and you watch as it trails into the grass, and whatever it touches, you see as it almost turns into a black sludge before it finally comes to rest as the magic dissipates.
Eldritch Blast?
Maybe you.
Out of
Vola says-
character,
Ryoka would-
it's
Ryoka would not know this spell.
No, she probably wouldn't know any spell. She's a fucking monk.
My point.
well, to be fair, monks would know a bit more about spells than the common folk, I guess.
Yeah, they'd know ideas about magic, but they wouldn't know any ideas about spells.
Yeah, not like specific spells. They would know, oh, that's magic.
Yeah, they
That's
would know
basically it.
that's magic, but other than that, yeah. All right. So, as you all kind of watch this, you just see Clyde kind of like looks eerily. It's like, that's new.
oh, that's definitely new.
Very new.
What happened to the grass that got hit by the spell?
You're looking at it, and from wherever it was hit, you see it has turned into almost like a black ichor-like paste that is currently sliding down almost like a slime.
That looks revolting. Hooray, I guess?
So I guess I kind of figured out at least something about the book. He kind of says, remembering that there were two of these books, so for this his own sake, he put the book back with the other one. From what I did, it was like a tuning to say like a ring or anything like that. But I guess I now have this spell. I'm assuming that page is what burnt up. Was the spell itself. So if this is the case, there might be more spells in there, but it'd probably be best to not try these on the road still.
So these are like one-use things?
I have no idea, but maybe I'll try again tomorrow, see if it works.
Okay.
But
It's as you put out your hand and flex it once more the same way. Uh, Nothing seems to come to fruition. It's just your hand is flexing. And you look back at it, and the kind of pulsing in your hand has gone back to the just black streak and mark that it once was.
He has like this curious like. I wonder what else is in these books, but again, we should probably focus more on heading to Port Ivy before any such things can be done.
Oh, by the way, I hope you didn't breathe in too much smoke. That was weird.
I think I can manage. Thank you.
We're in a
Madam.
burning city, mind you.
You were. You were in a burning city.
We're not still in it. That would be kind of not good.
We went to a burning city, then we went to a burning smaller fort. Now we're going back to a burning city.
That's not a fort, it was a hamlet.
Hamlet, my bad.
Alright. So, as you guys continue walking, we'll go ahead. Iris will go ahead and make her check. Yep. Clyde.
Statistically speaking, right? any place we enter tends up burning.
Well, it goes to the saying, we only want to watch the world burn.
Pirates, the town, the hamlet.
Ship.
Yeah,
The
he kind of has.
sky.
So
The other port town you guys were once at. Yeah, you guys are on a roll here.
I have an idea. If we get every city to just crash down and burn, we should just offer our services to, get money from cities that we're not allowed to visit.
That or the simple thing is just loom pillage.
Clyde
Or
and
we just-
Iris both kind of look at each other and look back.
Or,
we
we
might be
should-
pirates, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Hey, I was just making a business offer.
That's a
This-
great idea. What are you talking about?
We're
Iris
just going to
kind
be
of gives
very
you a
passive.
stink eye.
We get money for not entering the city.
Ryoka glares at Iris.
Okay, you two can have your cat fight once we're in the dang city, please.
She grumbles something about not my captain.
Are you still on about that?
Yes!
You gotta let that go.
Not a chance.
Okay.
She just walks by. It's like she can believe whatever she wants.
As
She
long
just
as it
walks
doesn't
by
come
in
to
a
complications, I
grumbling
guess.
as well.
I mean, in the end, Iris is the one paying us. You kind of side comments.
I have a
Alright.
better plan, right? About the whole not entering a city and getting money from it. What if we just get the money and then enter the city anyways?
And I think we would just get attacked if things came to that. I just think the more sensible reason, if we were able to, I don't think we should be dicking about in Port Ivy any more so than what has happened. Because since we're working with their leader, I say we can reap some good rewards from it. That's it is if we play our cards right.
I mean, brutal honesty has worked so far, mostly.
In any case,
Clyde, Clyde, mostly.
I mean, did we tell them about the rock thing?
Rock thing.
I mean, no.
Yeah, let's
And I
not mention
think-
that.
let's not mention that, or otherwise we may just become state criminals.
Wait, what rock thing? Did I miss something?
I believe we earlier in the tavern we found this weird ass rock, and
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
yeah, let's not talk about that.
Evil DM giggles.
In any case, with that, we also have to consider the fact that the Rao are heavily involved. At least one woman.
Wait,
Drow.
wait. There's Drow?
Yeah, what?
Like,
Yes, did I not tell you guys this?
no?
Okay,
No?
so essentially, when I was looking for Iris, and kind of like motions his hand over, remember that temple that's in Port Ivy?
Yeah. The creepy
So
one where everyone was naked?
wait, what?
Wait, what?
Wait, what are you
immediately
thinking
get
about?
you immediately get the bard's attention. You called?
Do you mean the bathhouse?
No.
No. What the? I think you're getting confused with the bathhouse. Either way.
What? Okay.
As I was flying over the temple, that thing, or at least that drow, I didn't know at the time, had somewhat stopped my ability to fly, and I kind of crashed into their garden. They were facing off against one of the monks. I think the head monk that was there. She looked to me. Both of them looked to me, and this armored one gave me a vision of a drow woman. Then turns out right after it was the same drow woman that took off their helmets. Then this bigger armored one, kind of, it was the one from earlier that was, I believe, carrying the giant sword. If you remember, back at the port, and well, it's like trying to remember and stuff, but they both disappeared out of sight right after. But that drow woman, she can stop any spells, and that monk priestess person, she had far more capable spells than even I do. So that's saying something if they could even stop that with just a hold out of their hand.
As you guys have been walking, you've been getting closer and closer to the city. You hear the familiar sounds of the packed gateways into the city, and you see a long line of merchants, travelers, peasants, all of them either trying to sell goods or buy them. You see carts heavily laden with what look to be tanned uh, cow's hide with leather. You see bundles of wool from sheep. You see hay. You see long strands of what look to be kind of greenish yellow, almost pre-harvested wheat. Uh, you also see hundreds and hundreds of other people out there. It's a bit more packed than you used to, but it seems the city's trying to get back into its normality. You guys end up waiting in line as everybody is currently selling each other things. You see as some of the merchants are currently engaging. You see mixed into the crowd there are mixtures of what look to be sovereigns from the south. You see their familiar kind of caramel or darkish black skin with the familiar kind of heavily influenced robes they wear. You see most of them laden with some bits of gold here and there with large rings. I see off in the distance nearby the gate, almost on its way in, looks to be a cart of exotic animals. You know, the familiar squalling and screeching of some of these birds and what look to be maybe a monkey. You're not sure. But you are currently waiting in the line as the queue continues moving, as carts are checked, people are moved through, and you guys are spending just about another 3 hours waiting in line just before the guards stop you. They check you, make sure you're not holding anything illegal. Your business in the city?
We're here to we're we're here to report our findings to the lord of this place.
That's proof of employment.
Let me see. I'm trying to remember if we got anything from Lord.
Yeah, wouldn't Iris have that?
Yes. Iris presents the thing. None of you really know what it is, but she presents something that seems to have some sort of a mark on it. The guard just steps out of the way. Be on your way. You're under protection of the Lord. And you get out of the way. The guards move. You're parted through, and they go on and search the rest of the carts and such. The guards going through it slow and methodically. As you find yourselves stepping into the large avenues and cobblestone walkways of the city of Port Ivy. The familiar calling of peasants to one another as street goers going through buying fresh meats, fresh meats. And you hear the familiar clanging of iron and iron, as it seems one of the local blacksmiths has managed to get his shop up and running once more. And you step once more beyond the huge and grandiose rock walls. Port Ivy. Welcome back.
All right. Well, the first thing we should probably do now is go report our findings.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
Let me just move our boy here. There.
Okay. Sorry, I'm petty like that. You should know this.
God
All
damn
right.
it.
As you guys make your way through the city, you do notice most of the buildings that were destroyed are starting to be repaired. Nowhere close to being done by any means, but you see most of the totally cinders that were left from some of the houses are actually being removed. Some of the wood that might be salvageable or not is being taken out and then burnt again, as you see the familiar kind of thin wisps of black smoke, as it seems whatever hasn't been salvageable is being burned once more. And you currently see as there is dozens upon dozens of clusters of workmen. Most of them look like dock workers, but you can definitely see it seems the city is trying to fix itself, and they're on their way to doing it.
A simple road to recovery, eh? Kind of looks back to the party.
Yeah, looks like the place is getting itself back up again.
In due time,
Hopefully.
in due time. Anyways, maybe we should have our gear at least fixed by the blacksmith after this. Longer, it's either going to be a long road or a longer sail, depending on such. So we have the money to at least accommodate such.
Yeah, we should certainly gear up. I've been feeling horribly underarmed for the situations we've been running into.
Indeed, and we can't be relying on spells all the time. The ironic part of my own powers, but we'll also need just essentially normal supplies as well.
Oh no, definitely. We should maybe pack some, I don't know, clothing for different climates.
I was actually thinking of getting a what is it? Hopefully some general store around here still open. Maybe I can buy a alchemy thing for potions for us if we find herbs or other ingredients. But that's a choice of thought for a later date.
Anyone else
Making your
here?
way.
Oh, sorry.
Nope. My apologies. I didn't mean to overstep.
Naren would just wanted to ask if anyone else wanted, needed anything in terms of special supplies, be it weapons, clothing, specific ingredients or such.
Ryoka just shrugged, twirling her returning dart in her fingers.
It makes you wonder if that one bathhouse is still working. Probably got burnt down.
He
Is
is. Zoram is currently walking by, just currently hobbling. It's like, I don't know about you, but I could go for a massage. There's something to get these old bones out.
I need to go see a blacksmith.
We have a lot of stuff to do, so let's just hurry on to the lord of this place and at least report our findings. No doubt we'll be tasked with something else.
So as you continue moving forward, you once again are stopped by the guards. They notice your somewhat ratty appearance. It's your business to the high tops.
Reporting to the Lord.
And you see Iris brings out the token once more. Apologies. Clear the way. Open the gate. And they step out of the way, and you see as the kind of minor blockade, instead of having the full portcullis down, a somewhat of a barricade has been set up, and the guards move over and start getting it out of the way, almost like a large doorway. As they clear it, you guys are put through, and the barricade is once more set. You find yourselves into the high tops. You see as the buildings that have been burnt down are actually much further along on their process of restoration. You see most of the buildings here seem to be made of stone and steel rather than wood. And you do see what wood implements were once here have been removed, but replaced over time. The streets are a bit more empty than they once were. You can definitely see the difference in, shall we say, patronage around the city as the city is being repaired in the higher portions.
Hmm. Since they have the map, he, Wallace kind of thinks to himself a little bit. I wonder if Port Ivy will be requesting for materials from probably from Holback or Sheffield. Probably either or.
As you make your way forward, you once again stop before the palace gates, the secondary stone wall of the fortress that overlooks the city. The familiar black and red colors of the Broken Ridge Guard look at you. They seem to somewhat recognize you. You don't need to show them the token. They get out of the way and allow you inside.
Wallace simply nods his head and at least moves to enter.
As you guys enter, you step in through the palace and what once used to be a large ballroom, one you were familiar with large and decadent halls, the marble floorings covered by the large pillars that ascended to the roof, the large, almost granite and marble statues that stand out, both of the tiefling that is Lord Brokenridge and his wife, and you see them standing together in most of these statues. But the grandeur and cherubish nature of this once pleasant place now you see has been removed as the smell of iron and the low groans of people in pain enter. As you walk by, you see the large dining tables once used by yourselves have been set out for people still yet to be cured or of their ailing wounds. You do see, however, much unlike your first time visiting here, instead of normal medication and or bandages, you see there are actual clerics currently tending to the wounded. As you step by, you manage to actually pick out a familiar face from the crowd. You see Lady Brokenridge is currently tending over what looks to be one of the personal guard of the pretty much holders and retainers. It looks like a cleric is currently tending to them, but the guard himself looks a bit worse for wear. As you continue walking by, Lady Brokenridge finally kind of recognizes you and sticks her finger up for you to wait a moment before she finishes saying what she was to this guard. As she steps away from it, she walks over to you. Ah, so you've returned. Might I ask if there's any good news?
Mm, no.
You see her, the kind of large floofed rabbit ears that she had start kind of curling down in disappointment. And she nods.
We got there and it was burned to the ground.
She kind of bows her head and nods sadly. It is a sad day. More death to go upon the heaps of death already around us. Well, at least we seem to have a semblance of ideas to why our city has received nothing. But it is good that you are still alive and able to receive this message to us. I shall go and tell my husband. He will most likely not take the news well, but still he has asked. I believe he also said you should be paid for this, so allow me to retrieve that for you as well. See, she turns about and starts walking. She pulls by one of the servants. She starts talking to them. You see the servant looks back to you and nods. You see the servant scurries off, and Lady Brokenridge disappears for about 20 minutes. The sound of low groans and the soft chanting of the clerics going through their rituals and spells. You see the cleric who was working on the guard Lady Brokenridge was speaking to, currently doesn't seem to be doing anything but praying. The guard they were currently laundering over, or even tending to, does not seem to be moving or breathing. As Lady Brokenridge returns, I'll have, just due to the social prowess, Rowan, go ahead and make me a insight check. You know how to pick up on these things. You're a people person. Rowan. I guess he's gone. I'll roll for him.
Hello, hello. I was
Hello?
muted on accident. Yeah. How do you use the command to roll dice?
Go up to bot commands. Go, exclamation point, roll 1d20. Like that. It's something different, something's changed in the past few minutes with Lady Brokenridge. You see what ended up, even with a 13, you can see she just definitely seems to be holding something. Like, she seemed better when you first talked to her, and then when she's returned, you definitely see something's kind of drained from her.
Bro would just in a really quiet voice look towards the rest of the party and just go like, something is wrong with her.
As the servant actually eventually comes back, the one she had sent off. The servant brings back, and currently the female servant goes over, and she's holding what looks to be a small lockbox. And she goes over and hands it to Iris. She takes it. The servant nods and bows to all of you, and then scurries off once more. Lady Brokenridge. I do hope that is payment and reparation enough for what you've done for us. Speaking with my husband, there is a task he has and wishes for you to check. He hopes it is not too much to ask. She kind of gives a somewhat worried yet hopeful glance at all of you.
Right, okay. You guys
What
are
would
like,
it
shrug.
be?
Not like we're doing anything else.
My husband has found himself ailing in the past 2 days. Well, not I, but he believes that something has happened. I believe he might just be feeling the grief from the city, but hopefully it is the latter instead of the former. But in any case, he wishes for you. There is a temple to the southeast of here. There is no road to it, but it is there. And she actually pulls out from what seems to be a small satchel she was been holding what looks to be a small piece of parchment, a small rolled up map, and she hands it to you. And he wishes for you to check out this temple to see if something might have happened. Perhaps something I don't know how to say it, but perhaps whatever happened to him might have originated from this place. The temple mark is pretty much just about in that location, to the southeast of Port Ivy and roughly to your straight east of Clay Rose, or what's left of it.
Hmm. I'm trying to remember. Wasn't that one thing we saw in the distance a while back while we were on our way to Clay Road?
It
They
might.
seem to be generally in the same spot, maybe.
All right then. I think it could be done. We just need probably a day or so to get what we need. Ra- rations, probably better gear, because if it is what caused Lord Brookenridge's position in this current state of the lands, might be good to actually prepare ourselves for something serious.
See, she nods. Well, I do have some business I must attend, so I apologize if our words are cut short. And she turns away, and you see as she walks off back again to the same direction she had once left you for.
Well, I guess that's one job done. Up, who's ready to start getting ready for another adventure?
I guess I am.
Just gonna say our adventures, no, not going very well, are they?
I mean, the most we've done was just a scouting venture, so we can't really judge much on that based on information. Are we not?
Bro would just
Suppose.
shrug.
Anyways, I think we should probably find some stores that aren't, run down, and probably a blacksmith as well too. At least repair our stuff. Get ourselves ready, prepped, and probably by the next day we should be ready to head out. Is that
Right.
fine with everyone?
You see as Iris nods, and Clyde just kind of looks and shrugs.
Nerm nods and asks if anyone is going to accompany him to the blacksmith.
I have to go to a blacksmith as well.
Mm,
Great.
likewise.
Clyde actually pulls Volus off to the side, kind of speaks softly. You know, we were given another task. But Brokenridge did want us to try and find where his people went from those knolls.
It's true. Also, great, I do have to be right back for one quick second.
I understand. But Iris actually sticks her hand up to you. Um, I'll go with you. I can have some of my weapons and gear repaired.
All right. What are you guys gonna do? And Nerm just looks over to Iris, Valis, and I suppose Ryoka as well.
Right, Oka is just like, I'm not drunk enough, so you know where I'll be.
Yeah, gotcha. And you two, well,
Zoram just kind of looks at you. And just, I'll follow her so she doesn't cause any problems.
you know
I won't
that's
cause
probably
problems.
He gives you kind of an exasperated, like, really?
Right, okay, you do remember what happened in that pirate tavern, right?
Yes.
She started a riot with a bar fight.
Zoram, I
It was
appreciate...
the most. It was my proudest moment. How dare you?
Zoram, I am so glad that you're voluntarily sacrificing yourself for our safety.
You all have no faith in me. I see how it is.
But we have
No,
faith
I'm
in
just
you.
working off a
Zoram gives you a
precedent.
bow.
Well, also, should we just like meet up sometime and go to a freaking clothing store? I need new garments. This is... I mean, look at this, and he just like pulls on his sleeve, and half of it is already detached. You know, maybe it's time to get some new stuff.
Yeah, you
Maybe.
definitely need new shit. Going around looking like a vagabond.
Wow.
And all be
calling him.
people
Actually,
working in high
Ryoka gets an
society.
idea.
Uh-oh.
Ryoka gets an idea, and she's like, "Actually, I'll go with you to the blacksmith. He may have something I want."
You see Zoram immediately just kind of like, oh,
We have made
God.
a mistake.
And pinches the bridge of his snout.
So I take it you're gonna accompany us.
It's cool. Yes, I will, and then I'll get drunk.
Nerum just looks over to Zoram and gives him this look of pity.
Zoram just, like, shrugs, and he looks the idea of somebody stab me, please. But he keeps moving.
Wait a second. Oh no. Oh no, Nerum is formulating a very bad idea.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
Be careful, that could be copyright.
Nah, it's fine.
It's only a small snippet.
But yeah, I guess the plan for most of the parties is standing already. Now the only people who don't really have anywhere to go are Iris, Zoram, and Valis, I guess. Though
Well, Valis
Valis
said
did
was
say
gonna-
that he wanted to go to a general store.
Wanted to
Either that-
retrieve some more supplies and then get some gear that might be a bit more better repair than what you have currently.
I mean, heck, if you're going that way, Iris
While
may
we're
as well
at it-
accompany you and like look for supplies for the ship.
While we're at it, I would also like to go find a jeweler.
Things for a ship or that alchemy stuff that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Hello, shopping episode.
Oh, jeez.
It'll be a brief one, don't worry.
Yeah, not like we have too much to do. Like, I don't think anyone's just gonna request like custom gear, are they? Okay, never mind. I said nothing.
Look, Ryoka's the type of person that would want to ask for custom alcohol. Okay?
Literally gives her horse tranquilizer.
Oh, Jesus.
In the wake of
Christ.
ashes, we go shopping and drink.
Yep.
It's a great idea.
All right.
Well, yeah, the idea was, hey, we get ourselves supplies, rest up, and then go out.
Yep.
Since I think that's if it took us 2 days to go from Port Ivy to Clayrose, that's probably around 4 to 5 days.
Going off-road, and it's uncultivated land out there. It is wild
but
grasslands out there. So it'd probably take you roughly about 6 or 7.
Yeah, we'll need to stock up then.
Here's a random question. DM, is the bathhouse fine? Like as they're walking around to separate
Oh,
shops.
the bathhouse.
Yeah.
You head over. The bathhouse is somewhat scorched. You see the roof is still being repaired. Business is not necessarily open at the moment. However, you do see the last kind of person you would see in the last receptionist you would run into is currently standing there. Looks to be a half-elven gentleman. The beautiful smile he held is still there and just trying to stay at least somewhat happy. And as you walk up to him, oh, apologies, sir. We're not serving people at the moment. However, if you are looking for our services, or at least the same quality or kind, uh, we have been directing, and he actually pulls out from what looks to be a small, almost reed slate. Looks to be a small tablet, almost like that made of a, you know those old kind of like Japanese game board pieces that were made of a thick piece of like, almost bamboo,
Yeah.
or even, yeah, that's essentially what he kind of hands you. He goes, you can find yourself into the high tops with this, and request the services from the Queen's Eye. The services are a bit expensive, but the quality is nonetheless on par, if not a bit more exceptional. By the way, of your payment requirements, sir.
I see. Well, before I head to my own duties, he decides to let me just check. He decides to hand him a bag. Consider it as a means to help restore your place. He will leave it without word, and if he finds it, opens it, you will find around 30 gold coins.
You are heading to the Queen's Eye?
No. He's saying to a general store if there is any.
General store, okay.
He
So
just
you still, but
with
you
the
still have
30.
the slat. Okay. So you
He did
have
give
the.
him he did give him coins though. So yeah.
All right. So as you head out, there are actually multiple general stores that are currently functioning within the city. Most of them are burned, however, that has not stopped them from setting up their business. You do see that there are dozens of either laborers or even dock workers that are currently almost petitioning each other for trying to buy the last scraps of wood or whatever seems to be what they're needed to repair the buildings they're currently working on. As you kind of push your way through the crowd, you get a couple of odd sneers and jeers just because of what you're doing and just mingling your way through. Eventually, you get up to it and you see there's currently a human man who currently has what looks to be a quill kind of stuck into his ear, and he's currently writing down kind of very quickly with a lead-lined writing utensil, and he's currently scraping together on some sort of a notepad. And it's almost like he's taking bids at the moment. You have people who are currently shouting, 35! 48! And you see people are currently trying to get the last bits of wood or so, whatever it is. And as you walk your way up, a person looks extraordinarily busy. But you can certainly try and get his attention. What would you like to do? I
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I guess you didn't hear me, or
No,
I
I
was
heard you.
being ignored.
No, I heard you. The thing is, when I spoke, I didn't realize my mic was still muted.
God damn it, you and Beth have the same problem.
It's a shame. Anyways, as well as kind of walks up, he does take notice about the auctioning remains of wood, and he kind of says, "Auctioning off the rest of the wood."
I It, yes, and he goes over and he's currently trying to continue writing down. What can I? Did you say 125, sir? You see him nod. And he starts writing. What can I do for you? And he's currently marking down as he's currently looking through the crowd.
I was simply looking for probably some alchemical supplies. That or at
And he
least
kind of
some.
looks at you. Uh, no alchemical supplies here. You can probably search over at the go try Wildrins down by the southern side of the city. He goes over as someone just shouts. You hear 300, and he goes, I will take that one. He starts writing down furiously, and the betting is still getting higher and higher.
Hmm. If it was for something other than wood, he probably would have joined in on it. But he's granted it's just like wood scraps. He's not gonna try to buy out anything of the sorts. But to save time, he is going to just cast fly on himself to head to the location to not bother with crowds.
Okay, you cast fly on yourself, and as soon as you start floating up, the bidding kind of goes silent as everybody just kind of like panically moves away from you as you just start floating. And everything goes silent for a second as everybody just watches you float up into the air and then start flying off.
Typical anime style. I mean, what?
Yeah. And everybody's currently just watching you fly off in a shocked silence until they finally kind of return to themselves and the bidding continues. Ah. So as you fly down to the southern side of the city, uh, most of what you actually run into is currently nestled just about to the southwest, pretty much near the docks. And this kind of small shop is kind of nestled into the kind of embankment that rises up to meet the secondary wall that meets the high, or that creates the high top section and cordoning off from the rest of the city. And as it's currently dug into this rock solid wall, you see the building itself doesn't seem to have been touched by the fires of the city. The old wood seems to be salt stained as you see bits of kind of molded and mossed over rock are currently kind of shaped and formed at the sides, almost creating the idea that this building was almost naturally made, except the wood was an addition afterwards.
Mm.
As you step into it, the temperature is an immediate kind of shock change as you step in. The immediate smell of herbs, remedies, and other sort of like earthly like aromas just immediately meet you. And you see a man at the far end looks to have very long, almost shoulder length hair. It's very unkempt. The clothing he wears looks to be tattered and kind of bruised a bit, as you see some of the stitching is currently coming undone. You see he's currently leaned back with a large pipe in his mouth, and he's currently smoking what looks to be some sort of a purplish red plant. And he's What can I do for you? Huh?
Me.
Currently
Hey,
tries to stand up and just falls back into his chair.
well, I came here looking for chemical supplies, mostly insert that and
Oh,
potions.
well, if you're here for chemical supplies, I can certainly help.
Hmm.
What is it uh, you're looking for? I actually starts standing up once more. This time he actually successfully does it. Puts his hand behind him and like forces himself to stand up as he's still smoking this large pipe.
Um, well, one thing I do wish to buy before buying the alchemical supplies is I'm curious of what potions that you have been brewing here. But just the general supplies in order to make you know, self-made potions and the like.
His eyebrows kind of rise. And, oh, we don't have any potions. All of those are going to the guard. We are out of stock. Sorry.
Then that's fine. He kind of thinks a moment and kind of looks around the place, assuming if they have like any of the alchemical supplies like showing. Might I see what you have in terms of alchemical supplies then?
Oh, well, what are you looking for?
Mm, I'm trying to remember what's the what's it called? Uh, because um, I'm trying to look right now and I can't seem to find what the thing's called for an alchemy kit. Or is it? Oh, it's just called
It's an
alchemy.
alchemy kit.
No, no, it's actually called. I'm looking right now. It's called alchemist supplies. It it doesn't have any other name than that.
But if you're looking for just general supplies, goes and smokes again. You can find yourself whatever herbs you need and stack them in a pouch and then pay for them.
All right. I think I can manage with that. And yeah, dips his head and I guess starts to look around.
So, one sec. Someone is asking me a question about some of the D&D things, so I need to answer this real quick, and I apologize.
It's
Take
fine.
your time. Take your time.
Oh, I popped my back.
Mm. There we go. Okay. Meandering your way through the shop, you eventually kind of grab handfuls of the herbs and things you need. And as you stuff them into this kind of small satchel and walk over to the desk that the guy is currently like pretty much leaning on at this point, like if it wasn't there, he'd fall over. And he's. So, is that all you need?
Yes, I believe that will be all that I need.
All right. Well, then, the pouch itself will cost you 10 gold. And then the herbs in it will go for another 5 gold. So you're looking at 15 gold in total.
I believe that's fine. And he places the 15 coins down. I'm assuming on what is a desk or table.
Yeah, it's a kind of it's both. It currently functions as a desk, but it is currently what looks to be a table that is currently just sitting there, acting as the kind of front counter of this store.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a hookah or something like that.
You don't currently see one, but you do see there's a back room. That's currently laid over with what looks to be a kind of bead and moss, almost curtain instead of a door. As you lay the gold down, man reaches over slowly, grabs it, and slides it across the table at a snail's pace, and then puffs once more. You have a nice day, sir.
You
He
as
goes
well.
over and flops into his chair.
And I guess with that, it would take a while for him to get to high tops anyways, but I guess first things first he would do is like try to find the other party members. So he just flies around to try to find them.
As you fly around the city once more, you attract a lot of attention. See, the guards are kind of like following you around from portion to portion of the city. You even see you almost get shot at a couple of times before the guards finally just kind of like, wait a minute, that's a person. It seems people are still rather up in arms about things flying around the city. As you fly your way back around, you actually manage to find Niram, who's currently heading out with Iris. And they seem to be walking through the streets to the eastern portion of Port Ivy, finding the blacksmith you guys ran into on your way in.
Greetings, you two.
Yo, hi. How did the old excursion fare, I guess?
Yeah, well, I managed to get some alchemy supplies, so I guess that'll be me testing out to try to get some potions up for us.
That's neat.
Yeah, granted we don't have a what's the word I should put without making it sound like an ass? Any high healing casters? It's going to be more efficient if we do start making our own potions, so I guess it would be keen to keep an eye on out for alchemy supplies.
I mean, it's always good practice, isn't it?
Hmm.
Like even if we had someone who specialized in healing, like you did say earlier, spells are finite. Like it's not like I can go into battle, get my arm lopped off, come back and be like, hey, can you fix this? And you're just like, no problem, just snips and fucking there you go.
Well, I would assume using magic in the terms of that should be used more so for emergencies and stuff, not like saying, "Oh, I cut my finger. Can you please heal it?" You could
No,
just
no, absolutely, that's what I mean.
Would be a pretty fucking cool party trick, though.
Or lopping off your arm and reattaching it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
I mean, we can
I
try it
think
out
that
if you want to.
technically
I mean,
Just fucking
Really?
pulls out
let's
the
wait on
great
that.
axe.
Let's wait on that until some of us know how the fuck to do that.
Eh,
Uh, anyways, I'll be sticking around with you guys for the time being. At least see what you guys need.
yeah, I was
And
definitely gonna get a new weapon. This godforsaken great axe has done nothing but impair our freaking fights.
understandable.
Also, I need something that is more suited for heavily armored enemies. Maybe like a
Maybe
club, not even, maybe a hammer or something.
a warhammer might do. Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. And also,
Besides you,
I need something for range.
and something that won't cut off someone's limbs.
Yeah,
With that cue, I must be right back again because I think I heard I heard someone fall. So be right back.
Jeez. So,
Besides,
Ryoka, what do you
Ryoka just say, play.
what are you planning on doing?
I'm gonna get myself a really cool weapon that we used to have at the monastery.
Oh boy.
I'm the only one who hears her like as if she was really far away from the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are very
Oh, sorry,
quiet.
my microphone was down.
Oh, okay.
But she's just like, we used to have this really cool weapon at the monastery. They never let me touch it for reasons, but I want one.
We should not let her touch this.
It'll be fine. What is she gonna do? Cut someone in half?
On the other hand, you have a really good point. Let's go find you that weapon.
Alright.
And can we pass by a jeweler if we see one?
I mean, sure, if you want to get your crown, little princess.
Hell yeah.
Alright. And, I suppose we walk to the blacksmith.
Heading over to the blacksmith as you plow through the crowd with your enormous stature. Zoram behind you, shuffling, just feeling bad about having to watch Ryoka. As you guys meander your way through the streets, eventually coming to the familiar and almost homely sound of hammer striking steel. You come up and you see what looks to be a dwarf and a human are currently hammering out what looks to be a great sword. And you see it's very finely made. The dwarf is currently working through the metal as the human is currently binding a leather and cloth strap around the hilt.
That is one hairy halfling. Holy shit.
That's
The
oh, okay.
the dwarf stops and looks at you. The head
would
just
like-
slowly turning over.
You would
I would
think
like to
I'm
just
not the
look
smart
towards-
one, but hey.
I would like to look towards Ryoka with just you know, kind of like, why would you say that?
I'm sorry,
Make me a
what?
Make me a
Oh my
deception
God.
check. Make me a
Holy
deception
shit.
check.
Can I
Okay, hold
impose disadvantage on that?
The roll itself is gonna be pretty
Okay,
difficult to get
good.
through.
Okay. Let me.
Ryoka's a woman. I'm pretty sure you don't sound like a woman.
He's pretty girlish.
Hold on, I fucked it up.
Honestly?
Oh, okay, so that's a 13.
13. The dwarf is just looking at you, and you just see the eyes squint. He knows it was you.
I don't look back. I just keep looking at Ryoka.
Ryoka goes to punch him in the nose. On her behalf and on the dwarf's behalf.
Like before she actually hits me, I'm like, if you punch me, I will melt your precious dart.
She retracts.
Just as the fist is about to meet your nose, you're like, "Ah!" You put your finger up, and your finger is like holding onto the punch. You're like, I will melt your dart. And Ryoka's fist slowly pulls away from you.
Sorry
Wait,
about
so
that.
what was his words exactly?
Yeah.
If she punches him?
Uh-oh.
If you punch me, I will melt your dart.
Being her
She goes
intentions,
to
I will
smack
ratify
him
and say,
instead.
So as you're about to say something else, suddenly whack!
I would like to cast heat metal on her returning dart.
It wasn't a dart. It was not a punch. It was a smack.
I would like to cast heat metal on her returning dart.
Suddenly, as you whack,
We don't
smack
know
him.
where it is. It's concealed.
Ah,
She doesn't have it out in the open.
You were twirling it in your hand.
Earlier.
We were walking for a good, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like Ryoka will definitely toilet for a
So
good 10
as
minutes.
well, this is how we'll go ahead and sort this out. I will allow you to do it later, okay? When she actually has it out. Okay.
Rowan just like squints his eyes,
You
staring
see
at
a
her.
red mark starting to form on the cheek of Rowan.
You're gonna regret that.
You know you deserved it. And then she turns to the dwarf and just says, I did that on your behalf.
And the dwarf just kind of looks at you. I don't need no stinking human to be looking out for me.
Don't
and on
worry,
my
I wanted
own
to hit him
behalf.
anyway.
Nerem just
So
shoves
keep your
himself
nose
in
in your own
front.
shite.
Nerem just pushes past Ryoka and Rowan just goes, yeah, sorry about that. So it says, we were looking for, honestly, some weaponry. If you can spare some.
He kind of looks at you, still grumbling. And what do you need? For yourself?
Well, for myself, I would require at least a warhammer, and if you can spare it, a simple greatsword.
Looks at you and then looks at the people around you. Sorry, I think we're closing up early today. He goes over and starts pounding at the hammer, or pounding with his hammer at this greatsword once more.
He just nods and, in a low voice, just says, sorry for the inconvenience, and leaves the store, waiting outside for the others.
You head out. It's not really an enclosed area. It's pretty much like there's a large, almost
It's an
a
open forge.
pavilion. It's like a pavilion here
Okay.
over top, and then the rest of the store is inside. However, they're currently working outside by the forge.
Well, he would leave the store's area, I suppose, step outside the pavilion and look at the others to follow him.
Right, so he requested weapons and then was told to leave, pretty much.
That's about it.
Ryoka's gonna stay.
So, as Niram leaves, Zorm's gonna say, I think we should leave. I don't
Ryoka's
think we
gonna
should be causing anything else here.
Ryoka's just gonna be like, I need it. I need to try.
The dwarf is currently still hammering away before he looks back at you. What the fuck are you still doing here?
I will pay you extra for what I want.
How much extra?
Well, it depends on how much the item will be initially.
How much extra?
100 gold.
Make me a persuasion check.
Oh, I go if I succeed. Why did I close it? Persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got +3. Yeah, that's a 22.
22. Mm. Fine. What are you looking to buy?
A double glaive.
He gives you a very weird look. You're asking for a fucking glaive. Do I look like a fucking
Pointy.
elf?
Pointy on both ends.
Do I look like a fucking elf to you?
No, but I look like a monk now, don't I?
No, you look like a fucking gangly freak with 2 fucking legs to me.
Agreed.
Ouch. But I will pay you extra for this item.
See the human goes over.
I mean, we could just go find another elven blacksmith and give that extra money to, that stinking elf.
Dwarven steel is better than any steel.
The dwarf just looks over to you, Rowan. If you're gonna fight a fucking elf, let me know, so I can bash his fucking teeth in. But good luck finding one, Haffy. And he continues hammering away at this great sword.
Well, that's a new
Human
one.
goes over and starts talking to this dwarf in Dwarven. Do any of you speak Dwarven?
Let me double check real quick. Nope, just
Wait,
Infernal.
is this the blacksmith, right?
Yes.
Then, ironically enough, the elf knows Dwarven.
Oh, that's right. Volus is a high elf.
I found your elf.
This is gonna be interesting.
Oh God.
This is gonna be very interesting.
Ah, yes, the racism at its finest. I mean, what?
Oh my God.
Am I wrong?
And he's currently clanging away at this great sword. So, Rowan, what do you say?
There's your elf.
He looks at you, exasperated, annoyed, and done. Right. And I'm a fucking hairy halfling.
I mean,
His words, not
what
mine.
are you then?
He's a dwarf, you idiot!
Huh.
Looks over at you.
She-
His
face
eyes are
gone.
just constantly just locked onto Rowan.
How am I supposed to know? This is the first time I see one.
Do you want me to hold him down so you can punch him?
You can hear Volus just sneer a little bit.
He seems so distracted by Rowan that he's not even paying attention to any of the rest of you anymore. And as he looks over, I want you all off my fucking stored property before one, I either break your knees, and you can't, or I'm calling the guard. What am I going to be doing here?
I mean, are we doing anything that's worthy of calling the guard?
Hey,
We also
you're
under-
wasting me fucking time.
I waste a lot of people's time. You're gonna have to be more specific.
I just want to pay money to get a weapon. Is that too much to ask?
May I ask what type of dwarf this is, by the way?
Make me a nature check.
Gotcha. A 14.
15. The dwarf himself has kind of a button nose with the beard is somewhat close growing to the chin instead of the usual like thick and long that normally kind of droops down to his feet. It's interesting. This dwarf isn't as stout as you might be used to. This might be a hill dwarf, not a mountain dwarf.
Hmm. I see. Hold on. D&D Beyond is having a ship hit and a half apparently. Up, nope, it's completely down. Great. I was gonna try to.
See, the dwarf actually reaches over and just kind of grabs his hammer, points it towards you, Rowan. I want you to fuck off and get out of me fucking face. And I don't want to see you here ever again.
Right,
Oh
next
no,
blacksmith it is.
Okay, there we go. It's running. I was gonna use suggestion on it to try to persuade them to just finish making their stuff, and then when they would get out their hair. But since D&D Beyond is acting idiotic right now. I can't select the spell to see what it does.
Here. Roll 20 works a lot better at the moment. Ahem. You suggest a course of activity limited to a sentence or two and magically influence a creature you can see within a range that you can hear and understand you. Creatures that can't be charmed are immune to this effect. The suggestion must be worded in such a manner as to make the course of action sound reasonable. Asking the creature to stab itself, throw itself onto a spear, immolate itself, or to do some other obviously harmful act ends the spell. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it pursues the course of action you have described to the best of its ability. The suggested course of action can continue for the entire duration. Now, if the suggested activity can be completed in a shorter time, the spell ends when the subject finishes what it was asked to do. You can also specify conditions that will trigger a special activity during the duration. For example, you might suggest that a knight give her warhorse to the first beggar she meets. If the condition isn't met before the spell expires, the activity isn't performed. If you or any of your companions damage the target, the spell ends.
Hmm. Let's see. If that's the case, and I know doors can be charmed, hopefully, I want to use suggestion. Like, nonchalantly use suggestion.
Okay, how will you nonchalantly use suggestion?
Um, he's gonna try to cast. Uh,
I'm asking
wait.
you how
It.
you are. It is a vocal spell. How are you
Oh,
going to suggest what he
oh.
is going to do?
Okay. So as Voss speaks up, he says, "Well, then, how about you just finish? How about this? Will you finish what we asked to make, and then we will get out of your hair. No need for gauze. No need for any blood. We get some new. We get our weapons, and you get some gold to help fix your shop." I think out of all these times, I think you would need gold the most in order to keep things running around here, don't you think?
Wisdom save. As Rowan has seemingly stopped talking, he looks over at you, squints his eyes.
Okay, hello?
Aye, sounds like a good idea. Perhaps I should finish what I was doing first. I still want him to fuck off, though. Goes over and starts pounding away back at this greatsword once more.
Owen's just gonna, do a 180 and start walking away.
Wait for your
Good.
freaking weapon to finish. God
I don't
dang
think
it.
he ordered any weapons.
Alright. Hmm. Well, at least that stopped anything from getting bloody or arrested.
Thank you.
Could I, as I'm walking away, go find a jeweler?
That's on you if you want to go find a driller, mate.
So, as the dwarf continues working, and you guys are no longer within his face as you start wandering off, you just hear the grumbling. Even the human looks a bit confused as you guys walk off and the dwarf returns to his work. Conversation sparks up again. You guys don't understand what's being said, but it seems a bit of concern is being thrown around. Nonetheless, walking off, near him, you have a bit of a head start for a few minutes, but as you wait off to the side, you eventually see the rest of the party walks up to you.
Am I gonna get my glaive? I hope.
So, how come that you're out here? Negotiations not working out?
I have a feeling we're gonna have to go to a different blacksmith
Ah,
because
darn.
Rowan pissed off this one.
Well, nothing to be done.
Well, technically, the dwarf's pissed off at Rowan in specific. I don't know if it's going to be the same for us, just for accompanying him.
We were with him, so he's probably gonna share the hatred for us. Whatever. Let's just look for another one.
You never know. You never know. In any case, I think we should probably have some ups. He says that he kind of like pulled out that bamboo like board thing. There's something in the high tops that we could relax to before turning in for the inn or tavern. My bad.
So are we not going to a different blacksmith?
Is there another blacksmith in Port Ivy?
This
I'm
city
kinda
is pretty much the size of Tokyo plus 20 square miles. This is a large fucking city. If there isn't more than one blacksmith, there's a problem.
You
Okay,
guys go
fair
to the
enough.
high tops. I'm gonna go find another blacksmith that could be capable of making my thing.
Well, I'm gonna go probably look for the blacksmith as well.
Okay, go ahead and make me an investigation check, just searching through the city.
Can I assist? Raka, you're also looking for a blacksmith, right?
Yeah.
Can I assist you in the investigation
Sure.
efforts?
I
Alright.
do. Oop! I keep closing Chrome on accident. I do have a +7 in perception, so
Well, it's better than my -1 in investigation and my 0 in perception.
alright. So I'm gonna roll.
Hey, do you see that over there? Yeah, it's
what?
a cloud.
Oh yes, you see
No,
over
I
there.
rolled
That's
a 20 and a 19. It looks like it's gonna be a 27 to find a blacksmith.
All right. So, trailing your way through, as you manage to find a blacksmith. This one is actually run by humans. This one is known as the. One second, I need to confirm. Yep. This is known as the Grovel Forge. Currently, walk up. You see there are currently 3 humans, 2 males and a female. You see the 2 males are currently working on what looks to be a 2-bladed axe. Looks to be a large, almost a war axe, but it's very almost intricately made. The blade is thinner than it should be, but you see it's stronger than it might be. As you see, they're currently hammering this with a immense amount of force, and you see as the metal is currently bending to their whim. And as they keep on flattening, shorter and shorter, you actually see as the blade becomes finer and finer. The woman off to the side, you see she is currently stitching together what looks to be almost a small chest plate of leather. And you see it looks to be some sort of a blacksmith's apron that she's currently fixing. As this thick needle is currently being pressed through, and then you see her bring her palm up and whack, drive it through the leather, and then pulls it through the other way. At the one of the men actually notices you and motions for the other to stop. Hello there. What can we do for you?
I have a weapon request, and he also needs to buy some weapons.
Right, what kind of weapon are you looking for?
A double glaive.
And you see just like a wash of kind of confusion looks over both of the human males and look at each other and look back at you. We're good smiths here, but none of us here, or even possibly any in the city, have the pattern or even the set to make a glaive. If you're looking for glaives, you're looking for further north. And if you're really interested in having one, furthest north or at least the closest north that we can order one from would be Feldrake. And that would be lucky if they might even have one. Nobody here in the Commune even uses a glaive. At least you're working over there for, what's his name? He kind of looks over to the other. He goes, that's like a mercenary captain up north. It's the other one who's always kind of patrolling around. And looks over and kind of scratches his head. Oh, yeah, you mean... yeah. You see the other one is currently talking, but it's no language that you really understand. We might be able to order one for you. It'll cost you a pretty arm and a leg, but we might be able to get one for you.
And how long do you think this would take?
About a month and a half.
Fuck. So you
Well,
said
you're looking for a weapon that may or may not be used by anybody here in the Commune. You're looking for something here that, well, being a weapon, is necessarily one used by, quote unquote, our natural enemy, being the brigade up to our north, or west. If you're looking for a weapon like that, best you'd be looking for is at least either going to the brigade themselves and being killed because you're pretty much not a brigade natural, or you could try and find one around here and have better luck probably putting lipstick on a pig and making sure it can go to a noble dance. Your call.
I guess I'll order one. But specifically a double glaive. Not just any glaive, pointy on both ends.
Wouldn't that
Alright,
mean? Wouldn't that mean it's harder?
as he
There-
looks back over, he starts kind of talking over with the woman. Miriam, would you mind helping this fine lass out? Make sure she gets our order sent out. And as she nods and heads back over, and you see she puts the leather apron off to the side. And she walks over and kind of pulls out a small parchment piece and grabs a kind of like ink quill and dips it in. What are you looking for exactly? Your double glaive, you say? Yes?
yes.
Alright. Due to the nature of the transport from possibly wherever we can send an order from, you're gonna be looking at 250 gold pieces.
Ryoka drops the 250 gold pieces in a heartbeat.
I thought you were about to say they were gonna have a stroke for a second. I was
Ryoka's
waiting for
standing there.
that.
It's like, and Ryoka has a stroke. Like, how much?
Nope, Ryoka does not care. She's just like, I'm rolling in it right now.
Okay.
Minus 250. Yep,
So
okay.
you go ahead and drop the 250 gold pieces for your double glaive,
Like,
which
in
will-
a heartbeat, she's like,
which will
yes.
hopefully get here in a month and a half.
Ryoka seems to be grinning in enjoyment, now kind of realizing why the monastery never let her touch the double glaive, because it was expensive, and she had a tendency to break things.
Hey, look at that. I didn't know you could be happy without drinking a drop of alcohol.
It is big weapon.
Okay, fair enough.
You know, this is the first time I ever thought that I didn't think this would be the first thing Ryoko would buy while sober.
I
Yeah.
can be sober sometimes.
I mean, you do. It certainly looks, at least, like you do prefer being drunk.
I do, but I can be sober.
Hey, never
It's
said that
not
was a bad thing.
impossible.
But very rare.
I hate you.
No, you don't.
I think I do.
Well, anyway, I suppose you're gonna have to make sure that everything's going all right with your order.
Easy. Man looks back to the rest of you. Alright, so we've gotten your friend here sorted out. What do you need?
I need not nearly as complicated as an order.
Oh, thank the divines.
I need a good greatsword to lop something apart with, and a warhammer if it doesn't get lopped apart by a greatsword. So basically.
You're a mercenary, I hope, right?
Yes. Not going around people at random. Don't worry.
Right.
Look
I'm
this
gonna
much
ask.
like a villain.
You are a black dragonborn, or sorry, blue.
Yes.
Still part of, or bluish black, but you're still kind of part of the chromatic dragonborn. So, yeah, people aren't really close to trusting you.
Fair enough.
The
I
further
guess.
south you get, people will trust you the further south you go because their entire culture is based around dragons. But you right now, being in the Kamyar, they haven't had the nicest of meetings with dragons nor orc.
I suppose.
Well, the great sword you're looking for, most of the things we have around here aren't magical by any means. They just seem to be doing better than most things around.
Believe you me, magical
But
is a non-issue.
no, it's the great sword itself will run you about 60 gold pieces, and then your warhammer. We don't really have one of those, but we can go and get one for you from one of the other smiths in town. It'll take us about 4 or 5 days to actually forge the thing, but we could do it once we get the pattern and the sets.
If
That
there's
will
any
run you-
alternative, do you have any other blunt instruments available right now?
I'm not entirely. See, the other man actually pipes up once more, and kind of like, "Are you sure?" See, the one nods kind of furiously. Goes, "Are you sure we should be selling it?" The other guy kind of shrugs. Then I'm not sure we want to sell it. You see, as the other guy
it's all right.
looks over
Don't-
over to you near him, and looks back and then nods. And you just see, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And the guy nods.
Yeah.
Fine, go get it. And you see as the other smith looks all too happy.
Oh,
You see as he runs into the smithing shop, and as he's walking out, you see he's actually having trouble as he's currently dragging, not carrying, dragging what looks to be some sort of like great hammer. By the end of it, he's currently dragging it out, and he's and you hear it kind of dragging across the stone ground.
Can I help in some manner? I feel
And
really
he
sorry,
holds
but
his hand up. You see his hold his hand up, and you hear him say something. The one you've been speaking to. Don't worry, he has it. He has it. And he's currently dragging it to you. And this great hammer is roughly about the size of Rowan. So it's
oh
about
my
it's
god!
and it's a fucking huge hammer. It is highly decorative, and you see there are semblances of it that almost seem to sprout out with brass on the far edges. And as he drags it out to you, he kind of holds out the hilt And just kind of holds it to you.
Oh jeez. Nerum takes the hilt, albeit a
Make me
bit
a
nervous.
strength check. Make me a strength check.
Okay. Let's see. Strength check. Oh boy.
Watch him fail this.
Yep. Yep. I'm expecting. That's a nat one.
Oh
God
my
damn
God.
it.
Yeah, near him. You grab onto it. You're like, I'm not sure about this. And as you lift, you hear something pop.
Oh
Yeah. No. This is a bad idea. I'm very sorry about this. I don't think I'm
Ryoka-
capable of wielding it.
no. No, Ryoka looks at the hammer. She's like, "Can I try? Can I try to pick it up?
He
Can I
looked
pick it
Feel
up?"
really
free to pop
concerned
your
at the
spine.
Can I-
the
can I pick it up?
huge dragonborn that was not able to pick this up. He kind of looks at you, nods.
Just like Nerum just looks over at the dude and goes, "She's stronger than she looks."
She's grinning ear to ear.
And he hands you the hilt in severe pain.
Ryoka takes it. It's strength,
check.
right?
Yep, make me a strength check.
Can I wait? Do I add my +6 since I have proficient saving throw proficiency?
No,
Or no.
You
Okay.
do not. This is
Then
just
it's a
check.
+3. This is a
Just a
+3 then. Woo! Let's go dice. That's an 18 +3.
18.
Jesus Christ.
You
I
see
need
as
to burn
Ryoka-
this die.
You see as
I feel like
Ryoka
they
is
just have a
starting
dice.
to lift it, and she actually manages to get it about an inch off the ground before it falls back, and even Ryoka cannot pick this hammer up.
She accepts this as a win. She got it off an inch off the ground,
Well,
and then she looks to the smiths for reaction.
The human smith that you've been talking to just kind of like looks concerned at you as your muscles are kind of bulged out as you just lifted this huge great hammer. And the other smith just looks on and is like almost I don't know how to explain this without sounding weird, but
Explain it.
does he look elated that someone finally managed to lift that thing?
I pulled Excalibur.
he looks more elated that a woman did it.
Oh,
What I
fucking
mean.
horn dog, I swear to God.
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
Oh,
marry
oh,
that
oh.
bitch.
Just,
Yeah,
she
he's
could get
just
it.
Like, huh. He's just like, huh.
Ryoka grins at him.
Although he speaks a language nobody here understands except for the other smith.
What is he speaking?
He is speaking Sovereign,
Oh.
also known as Krivenish.
Interesting. Nerum is just going to pipe up, well, thanks for the demonstration, but I think...
He sees the other
That's a
smith
bit-
walks over and just kind of holds a finger up and goes, the one you've been talking to, you might want to kind of brace yourself. And you kind of give him a weird look before suddenly you feel a whack to your back and you hear another pop and it's like, oh, that feels great. Oh.
I just rolled a die to see how well he takes it, and a 17 with
Yeah,
good con. It's like he's grinning through the pain basically.
Yeah, you suddenly feel something pop back into place, and you like, ooh, you haven't felt that good in weeks. Ooh,
Thank you
ooh,
very
that-
much.
That's good.
But yeah, sad to say that I'm probably not going to be able to wield it. You might want to wait for someone a tad stronger. But the great sword I will
Ryoka
definitely
looks at
take.
him like, what?
I mean, what you do is your decision. And you are stronger than me, so, you know.
Wait,
Take
what's
that
your
as you will.
strength?
I'm at a
Your
16.
strength? I have a 16 too. How did you fail?
I rolled a nat 1.
It was still a 4.
Yeah, so what? You literally jinxed me. You went, watch him fail this. Immediately, bang, nat 1. Fucking Jesus Christ.
And then I roll an 18.
Yeah. You literally siphoned the luck out of my roll. Yeah, he certainly didn't stretch if he fucking popped his back out. Good thing he didn't annihilate his fucking spine with that.
Ryoka seems just all too proud of herself for getting that thing an inch off the ground.
But yeah, I will gladly take that greatsword off your hand.
The
But-
greatsword itself, you pay the 50 gold, or actually no,
60.
40.
They said 60.
Actually-
so
Well, actually no, they're gonna give you 40, or they'll give it to you for 40 because one, you kind of threw your back out trying to grab a hammer that they were trying to sell you, so they'll give you a discount. They'll sell
Do
it
they
to you
get
for
a
40.
double discount for being impressed by Ryoka?
you know what? Before we decide on the price, I'm gonna ask: do you have anything akin to a light crossbow?
I don't think a blacksmith would have.
You see the blacksmiths just kind of both collectively shrug and scratch their heads.
All right.
sorry,
yeah,
we
never mind
don't.
then.
We don't deal with crossbows around here. You're
Y-
probably the best stuff looking at maybe even some of the. Technically, they're not supposed to be called guard surplus, but sometimes some of the weapons manufacturers around here for the guards sometimes produce a little extra. So you might be able to buy some of it from the guard. They're the ones who only use those crossbows.
All right. Yeah, thank you for the information then. But yeah, that greatsword is a done deal, and he's going to hand over 60 gold because he doesn't feel like he deserves a discount.
All right. Well, your greatsword, as you hint, it is a serrated greatsword. It deals an extra D6 slashing damage.
Ooh. Let me note that down then. All right. All right. 60 gold deducted. I'm at 173 now. And I suppose that's gonna be it, since they don't have any other bludgeoning weapons except for that monstrosity.
These guys are mainly dealing with swords. Dwarves are kind of what you're looking for if you're dealing with hammers or that sort of thing. But if you're dealing with humans, you're looking at mainly swords, shields, that sort of thing.
All right. Achievement. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's just a dick move. Achievement unlocked. Lift with the legs, not your back.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Alright. So, as you retreat from the blacksmith, having retrieved your weapons, Niram, your new greatsword, like, as you look at it, like, you kind of thumb the blade a bit, and you, like, just kind of touching it kind of almost, like, severs your thumb. You're like, fuck. Or not severs it, but it makes kind of a deep gash. You're just able to, like, shit. And you suck the blood from it, and you just kind of, like, wrap it with a small piece of cloth. It is a very sharp blade.
Ryoka looks at him. What did you expect it to do?
I didn't expect it to be this sharp. Just starts, like, wiping his
I
thumb
can
and
look
keeping
at
it.
the thing and get a cut on my eyeball.
Well, that's pretty cool, I guess.
Weird flex, but okay.
Kind of weird.
Am I wrong? It's sharp.
Yep, that is. Ow! Why did I decide to keep lemon juice in my pocket?
Oh no. Oh no. That feeling of a paper cut and then lemon juice. It's great. Alright,
Yep.
so you guys wander off. Where are you heading to next?
I guess the bathhouse
Okay.
on the high tops.
So, heading back through the high tops as you guys make your way to the guard. It's starting to get late. Like, you guys have been traveling through the city, and since it's not a small city, you guys are traveling like maybe an hour and a half to each of these places just because of the distance between them. As you walk back towards the high tops, crest up the earthen and stone ramp that creates the opening to it. And as the guards look at you, they recognize you and kind of start getting out of the way, even as you start kind of pulling the slat out. As you are notioned through, you have a vague notion. You've been to the high tops a couple of times, but you've been to the Queen's Eye maybe once. It was a passing visit, but you never really stuck by. But you know where you're going. As you head your way into it, the immediate aroma of fine incense and lavender mixed with lemon and almost a bit of spice. You're not sure what, but it's a very fine mixture of aromas, and it just immediately almost relaxes you as you step in. Walking into it, you are immediately met with a receptionist to your right as this opening into this grandiose, almost homely-like cottage entrance to this building that seems to extend itself over almost on stilts to the rest of the building. As you walk over to it, you enter in, you see the receptionist to your right, you see dozens of fine tapestries and cloths that dangle about, almost creating a fine coloration to the room, each of them representing different portions of the world. And you see fine colorations of both decent and nude drawings and paintings. Most of them, if not all of them, are tiefling. As you look at the receptionist, look to be a grayish-white tiefling, the eyes a pale shade of yellow, with two small, almost imp-like horns that come out of the side of her head. She stands there, a very fine figure, with a very soft, almost bone-white hair that curls over onto her right shoulder, braided very finely. She looks at you and gives you a very beautiful smile. Hello. Welcome to the Queen's Eye. How might we be of service and assistance to you today?
Bath.
She nods.
Oh,
Are you here for a personal bath, or are you here for something a bit more relaxing?
A personal bath is just like on your own, right?
She nods.
Second option.
For this, for your secondary option, are you for the bath and the, are you new to the Queen's Eye, or have you been here before?
I'd say I'm new.
She nods, understanding. Our first option for the bath, being the personal experience, would run you about 5 gold. However, our prices increase over the distance of what is asked by yourself for our services. It costs 10 gold for the bath and massage. You are looking at 15 for more of a personal touch, and then a total of 30 gold if you are wishing for a bit more of a magical experience.
I'll pay the 15 for the personal touch.
Certainly. Do you prefer male or female accompaniment?
Male.
She nods. And you see her kind of ring a small bell. You see there are two very kind of different looking bells. One of them looks to have a very silver and brass outline, and the one to the right of it looks to have a faint gold with almost a rosy, almost marble color to it. She picks up the one on the left and rings it. And you see coming out from behind one of the beaded curtains off to the distance, you see a very fine, strapping blue tiefling with two ram's horns that come out of the back of it, or kind of out of the front of his head and round about to the back. A beautiful, piercing smile and eyes that seem to be the same shade as his skin.
You
Yeah,
you don't see Ryoka blush. That's all I'm saying.
okay. As he walks in, he gives a very curt bow, and he sticks his hand out. I believe I am at your service.
She casually places the 15 gold on the table and walks on over. Like, yes.
You walk you walk away with him, and he takes you to a separate portion of the Queen's Eye. Something kind of below. It's almost like a small sauna room. However, the hallway extends itself further, and you see there are about a dozen rooms down here. However, you're brought to one that's further in the back. And as it's opened, you see there is a single large clawfoot tub made of fine granite and marble. And we'll get through everybody else before we explain what happens.
Oh my.
Ryoga totally doesn't have a thing for tieflings.
Fetish.
The rest of you, as she looks over and she gives you a brilliant smile that seems to stay on her face. And for yourselves, is there anything we might be able to do? Or do you simply just require food and drink?
Hold up. Vienta still has that palette, right?
Volus.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Antis is a different campaign.
It's official.
Vien-
It's the Intus now.
Volus, right? My bad. Tongue twisted for a second.
This is why you don't have two characters with pretty much the same name, dude.
Volus and Vientis are two different names.
No, they are not.
They
Grayson.
have the same V name, okay?
And they both end with S.
And start with V, but other than that, they have completely different. Anyways, Volus just kind of looks at that bamboo panel thing that he had gotten before, though kind of considers. He rereads what it is. Is it just like a direction board, or is it
No,
something
it's a small. It's essentially a small pass that allows you into the presence of the higher ups of the city, under the pretty much pretense that you are going to the Queen's Eye and the Queen's Eye alone for services that the bathhouse can no longer provide until it is repaired.
Okay. Okay. So he then looks around to everyone else. Anyone else going to go up there? Because not, I am.
And she gives you a kind of curt look. And how might we assist you if you are looking for the same services?
I'm looking for such services. Might I hear again what they are? I know.
Certainly. For 5 gold, you have a personal bath. You are allowed to deal with as you please, and you will be left alone. For 10 gold, you will be given a bath and a massage, with a bit of help from one of our servants. Or, shall we say, your servant. For 15 gold, you are given more of a personal touch to your bath. And for the full 30 gold, you are given a bit more of a magical experience.
I'm gonna just reload my page real quick so I can see how much gold I.
He's like, and I want 30. Thank you very much. Here's your gold. Have a nice day.
It's either the 15 or the 30, but I don't know how. I'm trying to check how much gold I have because the freaking oh, never mind. It's starting to work again.
Narum just hands Valis 30 gold.
And he hands him back 15 and just uses 15 of his own.
15.
Oh, come on.
No, I know your spending tendencies are worse than mine. So,
Yeah, so what? I don't need much.
As she gives a nod, she asks you the same question. Do you prefer male or female accompaniment to your service?
I prefer female companion.
Certainly. She goes over and she grabs the bell to the right and rings that. And you see coming out from behind the curtain looks a vibrant purple tiefling. And as she steps out, you don't actually notice the horns on her until you almost have to look at them. You see, almost like the gray one before you, who is currently acting as the receptionist, looks to be two small, almost devil-like horns to the sides of her temple. Her eyes are a very ominous shade of honey yellow, but the moment you look in them, you almost get lost. And she walks over and gives you a very, very nice bow. She extends her hand. I am here at your service, sir. May all your cares be melted away.
Why, thank you. And
Hand the 15 gold over, and she escorts you down.
That's the weird part. The thing is, Grave, the thing that
Yes.
I said was I handed him back 15 gold and used 15 of my own.
I understand. I understand.
Oh shoot. Okay.
And this vibrant purple tiefling with a beautiful smile takes you downstairs. As you are brought into a separate room, you are brought into a very similar room as to Ryoka. A beautiful wooden room with gracious highlights, almost as if you were in some sort of noble mansion. The singular clawfoot tub there with multiple countertops and other available spaces. We will get to what happens after we assume with everybody else. The rest of you, what would you like to do as two of your party members have already been escorted out?
Is anyone else gonna go ask for a bath?
I'm just not there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Rowan just seems to have disappeared off into the
No,
crowd.
I disappeared a long time ago to look for a jeweler.
yeah, he disappeared
Oh,
before we went to
the
the second blacksmith.
All right, so looking for the jeweler. There are multiple jewelers in the city.
There's a K jeweler.
Not really. What are you looking for?
Just for like a quick glance, I'm trying to find something that just sells whole gems, not actual like
Whole
prepared.
gems?
Yes.
There are only 2 establishments you manage to find that actually deal in whole gems. However, they sell them, don't buy them. Most of what you're looking for, if you're willing to buy or sell, you're looking for some of these sovereign merchants that are coming in and out of the city.
I'd like to attempt to meet one of them.
Make me a general charisma check.
Charisma check.
Alright, I'm the big dragon. Let's sell gems.
He wishes he was the big dragon.
D20. So that is a 16.
16. All right. The merchants are more than happy to accept your business. You seem to flaunt yourself as if you carry coin, and they are more than happy to alleviate or at least add to that collection if you're willing to do good business.
I mean, I just ask around until I find someone who is willing to buy gemstones.
When
Willing
did
to
you
buy
get
them?
gemstones?
Yeah,
Or
willing to buy them.
They're more than happy to sell them to you.
And
What are
I'm
you
not
looking for?
I'm not interested in buying. Sorry, I'm interested in them buying it off of me.
Oh, them buying, so you're interested in selling.
Exactly.
Well, what do you have to offer them?
Rubies.
Rubies. What kind of rubies are just rubies?
From what you specified, rubies worth 200 gold pieces.
Merchants. My friend, how might we be of assistance to alleviate any of your problems with what you are carrying?
I'm looking to sell certain items of what I believe are greater valuables.
He nods. Very well. We are more than happy to receive and alleviate you of your struggles and burdens carrying these assorted gifts.
Do you think it's possible to talk somewhere a little bit more private and less public?
Hey, look around. Very well. There is somewhere nearby we may speak. And he takes you inside one of the establishments nearby.
Ronan's about to get his kidneys removed.
is about to wake up with only one eye. Or maybe
As
none.
Rowan heads off with one of the sovereign merchants. Vientus, Ryoka. Over the course of the bath, and the hints of the personal touch, you find yourself melting into the water, as if the moment you touch it, you can't help but relax. And as you sink into the water, you feel the very gentle hands of these tieflings reach in, and they almost start to ease away all the tension just from your body alone. And as the tenderness of the hand gives way to the supple softness and graciousness of the sponge, you find yourself remade anew. As you find yourselves near the end of your times, you don't want to leave. It's almost impossible for you to want to get out of the bath. And as you do so, you eventually finally kind of force yourself out. As your clothes and belongings are returned to you.
Have they been washed?
Oh, yes, they've been washed, they've been stitched and repaired, and they've been heated as if run through the dryer. So the moment you put them
Aw!
on, it's, yeah. Just to add to the feeling of that relaxation that you've been going through. As you start to leave, both of the tieflings give you a handsome smile, and they bid you a farewell. And Ryoka, you find yourself kind of like giddy and walking away almost on your tippy toes. Just, you find
Yes.
yourself alleviated of anything needed or otherwise. Vientus, or Volus, sorry.
Ha!
You started it. Volus, as this happens, she gives you a smile. And as you find yourself leaving, you just can't help but to feel as you're lifting all of your gear, it's as if you're lifting paperweights or feathers. It doesn't weigh anything anymore. It's as if your body doesn't care. It's so relaxed that you could do anything. For
Just
the
jump off a
next
cliff real quick.
For the next 24 hours, all checks dealing with acrobatics or arcana are made at advantage.
Hey! So something that benefits us both.
Very much so.
As you exit the baths and Rowan is taken to his new spot as he is dealing with these merchants. We'll go ahead and end today's session there, as we've gone a little bit over time, but we will go ahead and call it as our usual 2 hours have come up. Nonetheless, those of you in the stream, we thank you so very much for coming by and enjoying our antics of, while talking and selling things, and trying to find a courteous massage from a couple of kinky tieflings. We very much so appreciate you guys coming by, and if you stayed the entire time, we're more than happy you could enjoy it with us. I will go ahead and find yourself in the presence of our illustrious host, Behemoth, as he will go ahead and tell you his streaming schedule and other such things. But for more D&D, you can find us here pretty much the same time, roughly about 2 to 2:30 East, roughly about 8 to 8:30 German Standard Time. If you are on the West Coast, you're looking at roughly about 12 o'clock to 12:30. But nonetheless, it was always a pleasure to have you, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. I'll hand you over to our host.
Thank you very much, Grabe. So, yeah, I would like to thank everyone for coming out. It was a blast. I do enjoy these role-playing sessions very much. Combat once in a while, definitely. I can really go with that, but I think roleplay is where D&D shines the most, because not only do you get the banter around it, but also some glimpses into I guess acting out the characters and the world. Yeah, no, I can see that. I should maybe make announcements sooner. That's probably on me. But yeah, as Grape said, at around 2 to 2:30 Eastern Time, about 12 to 12:30 p.m. Western Time, and 8 to 8:30 Central European Time, you're gonna be finding D&D here every Saturday. Yeah, no, don't worry about it, Si. I know that you're quite busy, and I can't fault you for it. Can't be easy. But yeah, in terms of schedule, well, there's not much of a schedule to be there. Mostly just Saturdays is going to be D&D day, and well, I'm probably going to play some more Bloodstained and Bunsen to Stories, because those games are really fun. Though, for Bloodstained, I do have to give the warning that I'm currently working out maybe replaying up to the point that I am on normal mode, because holy shit, hard mode is busting my balls, and I don't want to deal with it, because it's just, hey, we have increased damage output. Yeah. Well, if you want to catch up on some older sessions, we do have all the other sessions that we've streamed so far in a handy dandy YouTube playlist, so you can actually like look at them and fucking catch up, I guess. There might be wild inconsistencies for like audio quality, visual quality, sometimes conversational quality. But yeah, I've been trying to catalog these and archive them so people can enjoy them. But yeah, other than that, thanks for coming out, and I'm probably going to stop it here. So yeah, see ya. Cheers.